former Olympics and Commonwealth Freestyle Wrestling champion and current acting caretaker committee president of the Nigerian Wrestling Federation, Daniel IGALI, has showered encomiums on Blessing Oborodudu after the wrestler won silver for Nigeria in the ongoing Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. IGALI, currently the Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development by Bayelsa State, a two-time African champion who won gold at the 2000 Olympic Games in Sydney, Australia, but in the colors of his adopted nation, Canada. Believes Oborodudu's feat is as a result of all the hard work the 10-time African champion had put in over the past decade. For more on Nigeria's performance at the Tokyo Olympics, especially in wrestling, Daniel IGALI joins us now. Good morning, Daniel IGALI. Good to have you on the program.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
long
morning,
time.
Ruben.
Yes, good to see you again. Well, very quickly, yes, first let's congratulate you on the success that Nigeria recorded through Blessing Oborodudu, who ended up as a blessing to Nigeria. Yesterday, we had a family on this program through a recorded video, and the family specifically thanked you for you discovering her and grooming her and making sure that she has reached this moment where she has become the very first Nigerian to win a medal at the Olympics in wrestling. Well, we would like you to just comment on your journey with Blessing Oborodudu, what you saw in her, and how you feel about the fact that through her, she herself and yourself have been able to make history.
Well, thank you, Ruben, for this. I'm really excited. It's been a very long road. It was in 2016. I had just come back from Canada on a trip back home, and I was told about this inter-house sports competition they were having in a secondary school. So I went to watch. It was the finals of the female wrestling event, and I saw this young girl. Didn't really have any much technique, but was very ferocious. Was determined. I can't even remember if she won. I think the other person won, but I saw signs of growth in her. So we thought that we invited her to the Nigeria Sports Festival camp. The governor then had asked me to come back and coach the team, so I took care of them for about 2 months. We went to the National Sports Festival in Ogun State, and I think she came third or so in her first try. And in 2007, when I was coaching the national team, because I saw glimpses of a feature star in her, I asked her to come to the camp. She didn't really qualify to go to that camp, but I wanted her to come to the camp to start grooming. And she did come to that camp, stayed until 2008, and started making the national team. And from then till now, it's been history. One after the other, she is, without a doubt, right now, one of the most outstanding wrestlers we've ever had. Or I could even say one of the most outstanding sports people Nigeria has ever produced. I'm really happy for her.
Indeed, we're all happy for her, and congratulations are in order as well for you and the Federation. But let me ask you, because even though Blessing and Ese Brume have brought medals for the country, there's no denying that the medal drought at the Olympic has been age-long, and it continues. And so in your own sincere opinion, even though your federation seems to be bringing, the blessings to us, there are embarrassing situations all around when you look at other federations. What do you think is happening? What is wrong? What is your analysis of what has happened so far?
I will be very blunt. I think if we still have the same structure or same setup that we currently have, we will go to 2023 and have the same situation. And I say that because I have been the president of the Nigeria Wrestling Federation for 8 years. And you cannot, I'm a professional, I'm a high performance advocate. And what you do in high performance is you plan for the long term. What we have done with Adekore, Bless Obrodu, I'm telling you about since 2017 or 2007 is when we started this project. We're talking 2021 now, before you are seeing a silver medal at the World Championship. So, though at the lower level, we've won the African Championship, the Africa Games, the Commonwealth Games. But when you get to the World Championship and the Olympics, it's different ballgame. There is no sporting federation that has a budget. So, for instance, I don't have the Nigeria Wrestling Federation does not have a budget. So I cannot plan anything. If we have the African Championships maybe 3 months before, I would have to present that to the ministry, and if it is approved, then we go. And whatever is approved, if I wanted to go with 10 athletes and money approved is for 5 people, then I'd have to become the others and go with the ones that we can afford to go. And this is no fault of the minister, it's because of the system. Competing for Canada, going around the world, being an athlete representative of Canada for like 8 years on the national team, I know the workings of this system. Is multi-year budgeting that these countries have. So, for instance, the Canadian, only the female wrestling team alone for the last 2 years, because it's normally in a quadrangle, is for the last 2 years, they had $2.6 million as their budget. The U.S. national team, for the past Olympic cycle, have been having between 12 to $16 million every year. And you know this 2 years out. So you can plan your programs, you can plan which athletes you want to spend money on, who needs to go to a lower competition, who needs to go to a camp, and at what time. But we don't have that in Nigeria. So until we're able to rectify that, until we're able to start having things professionally run, and I'm not saying things that are done completely contrary to what should be done now, because I feel the minister has tried his best and is trying his best, but the structure needs to change for us to have achieve the kind of results we'll have achieved. Because I think Nigeria should not be coming back with less than 8 to 10 medals, including a couple of gold medals at every Olympics if we get it right.
All right. Thank you so much, Daniel IGALI, for joining us. Real quickly, I mean, it's sad because all those problems you talked about are still there. I'll take you, for instance. You were part of the Nigerian wrestling team in '95. And you went for a competition, and you had to move over to Canada, then competed for Canada, then won gold in 2000 for Canada, then came back because you love your country so much. A lot of these athletes today, that might be their fate soon because of how they were treated in this tournament. One question is, how can we stop this? Secondly, what are the words of encouragement you would like to give that lovely Adegoroye lady that fought so hard, but because there was a pin down, she lost that fight? Because she says she's definitely one for the future.
Actually, Adegoroye is not even only for the future. She's for now. We had a pool of wrestling enthusiasts in our weight class, and about 90% of them felt she was the odds-on favorite to win the gold medal here. In fact, when I saw her draw, I took it for granted that Adekore would be in the final. So when that workplace accident, as I call it, happened yesterday, because she was comfortably leading 8-0, and in wrestling, if you get 10-0, it's like the Messi rule, so the match is stopped and you are declared the winner. So she was just going to get the last 2 points to be declared the winner in that fight when she got reversed and pinned. And she's been inconsolable. We've been giving her all the support we could. In fact, as I'm talking to you, I had to bring her to the hotel. So she is with me and just resting in her room. But I can understand the frustration that took over that situation because she was determined. She did not even want to hear medal. Anytime we spoke and we said she's going to win a medal, she would tell you a gold medal. She was after a gold medal. So I can understand why she's so devastated. But I think she will get over it. I think she will bounce back a lot stronger. And Paris 2023 is just around the corner. It's going to be a blink. And we all of us will be the better off for it because of this experience. Having said that, I think we need to look at very competent people to get into positions of sports management and administration. We need to ensure that federations are thoroughly and closely following the rules of the International Federation. We need to make sure that we have adequate funding so that federations can put in the programs necessary for the athletes to thrive. If we don't do that and we expect that a federation that is supposed to have 100 million per year has 2 million, there's nothing you will expect out of that. So we just have to keep faith and ensure that the right people are in the right places.
Daniel, I mean, one major issue that many Nigerians have expressed concern about is that some of the winners at the Olympics, they are Nigerians, but they are not representing Nigerians. The same way that you represented Canada in 2000. There's this lady, One Okoye, from, is it Japan?
Yes. Yeah, Japan.
Basketball, Monica Okoye. There was an Eke from Ghana, you know, who even has a video online where she was saying that her father is Nigerian, but her mother is Ghanaian. And she asked her father, okay, which jollof do you think is better? And the father told her, well, I married a Ghanaian woman, which means that within that family, even in terms of sports, Ghanaian jollof is considered better than Nigeria. And then in another event, you also had a Nigerian winning gold. And yet that's somebody from Nigeria performing, representing another country. Why is it that Nigerian athletes prefer to represent other countries of the world? And how can we reverse that trend? Did you hear me?
I seem not to be able to hear you very well.
No, I was saying clearly that there are many Nigerians at these Olympics who are representing other countries, including Monica Okoye representing Japan, and Eke representing Ghana, and others who won medals who are representing other countries. And yet they are biologically DNA considered Nigerians. How can we reverse that trend?
Nigeria is said to be over 200 million strong. We're a population of about 200 million people, and we're spread all over the world. So I can understand that every Nigerian or every child of Nigerian parentage may not be able to represent Nigeria. If you're talking about people specifically like us who were on the Nigerian national team, but because of the encumbrances were not able to continue with the situation we had at hand and had to represent other countries that did care for us and actually did deserve the medals, I can understand that. I think we need to do a bit more in terms of caring for the athletes, in terms of their welfare, and in terms of giving them the basic provisions to compete at the elite level. But with respect to having every Nigerian who is everywhere represent Nigeria, I think it's going to be a very difficult task. I have a son now who is 14 years old, a very good basketballer.
We throw to a break.
Also, and has told me bluntly that he will not represent Nigeria, he's going to represent Canada. We're still having that conversation. You know how these things are. When you're an adult, you have the right to represent which country you want to represent, especially if you feel that you toe the line of your birth country more than the country of your parents. And so it's a conversation that we'll continue to have. But I think when you start having great welfare for your teams, for your sportsmen and women, and other people see it, we may not need to do much to convince them to come and represent Nigeria.
Chair Daniel IGALI for joining us, and congratulations again for what you and Blessing Oboro-Dudua have been able to achieve with wrestling and the history that you have made at the Olympics.